Tonight, we turn our focus to Batanes, the Philippines' northernmost islands, a remote and windswept province where rolling green hills meet the restless sea. Known for its breathtaking landscapes and resilient Ivatan culture, Batanes has long been a symbol of peace and isolation at the edge of the Philippine archipelago. But today, these islands are thrust into the center of a global power struggle, their strategic location drawing the attention of the world's most powerful nations. Once a tranquil outpost where daily life moved at the pace of the tides, Batanes now finds itself at the front line of rising tensions between the United States, the Philippines, and China. The quiet villages and windswept cliffs are now witness to a growing military presence, a stark contrast to the peaceful days of the past. Overlooking the Bashi Channel, a vital artery for global trade and military movement, these islands have become a strategic choke point. Every day, commercial vessels and military ships pass through these waters, making the channel one of the most important maritime routes in the world. Control of this narrow channel could tip the balance in any conflict over Taiwan, as it serves as a gateway between the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean. Whoever commands the Bashi Channel can potentially control the flow of goods, energy, and military assets in the region. Mavalis Island, once a quiet symbol of Philippine territory and the country's northernmost point, is now a critical military outpost. The Philippine military has established a permanent presence here, building new facilities and fortifying defenses to guard against potential threats. The Philippine military, backed by the U.S., is reinforcing its presence, recognizing Batanes' decisive role in Indo-Pacific security. Joint military exercises are now a regular sight, with troops training together to respond to any crisis that may arise in these contested waters. Military planners in Washington, Manila, and Beijing are watching closely, analyzing every move and preparing for multiple scenarios. The fate of Batanes is being discussed in high-level meetings and war rooms far beyond its shores. For the U.S. and the Philippines, it's about maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific, ensuring that international waters remain accessible and that no single power can dominate these crucial sea lanes. For China, it's a direct challenge to its ambitions in the region. The presence of foreign militaries so close to its doorstep is seen as a threat, prompting Beijing to increase its own patrols and assert its claims more forcefully. The fate of Batanes is now tied to the larger contest for influence in Asia, as regional powers maneuver for advantage and seek to shape the future of the Indo-Pacific. Increased military activity signals serious preparation for an uncertain future. Fighter jets roar overhead, naval vessels patrol the waters, and soldiers train on the windswept hills, each movement a reminder of the stakes involved. Batanes is no longer on the periphery, it's at the heart of a dangerous geopolitical chess match, where every decision could have far-reaching consequences for the region and the world. As the sun rises over these storied islands, the eyes of the world remain fixed on Batanes, waiting to see what the next move will be. Satellite imagery confirms it. A new military base is rising in Batanes. The Mahatao Forward Operating Base, opened in August, marks a major shift in the Philippines' northern defense. Strategically placed, it allows rapid response to events in the waters between Taiwan and Luzon. With new helipads and a dock, Philippine forces can now deploy and resupply quickly by air and sea. This isn't just for show. It transforms Batanes from a vulnerable outpost into a fortified bastion. The base is a direct response to China's assertiveness and the need to harden defenses. It sends a clear message. Manila is serious about defending its sovereignty. The Mahatao base is the clearest sign yet of a new era in Philippine defense policy. The new Batanes base has two missions: strengthen territorial defense and boost maritime awareness. With upgraded infrastructure, troops and assets can move swiftly, allowing rapid response to threats in Philippine waters. The base also serves as a hub for disaster relief, vital in a region often hit by typhoons. Enhanced surveillance means the Philippines can now closely monitor the Bashi Channel and enforce its laws. A permanent military presence transforms the country from a passive observer to an active guardian of its northern frontier. For too long, these waters were hard to monitor. Now, that's changed. This is a fundamental step toward a more resilient, self-reliant defense posture, The Philippines isn't acting alone. Its partnership with the United States is stronger than ever, reflecting a deepening alliance built over decades of cooperation and shared interests. U.S. military engagement in Batanes is at an all-time high, with American forces now more visible and active in the region than in previous years. Recent joint drills saw the U.S. Army deploy its mid-range capability missile system to the region, a first for the Philippines. This move marks a significant step in military collaboration, showcasing the ability to rapidly bring advanced technology to the front lines. This advanced weaponry demonstrates the Allies' ability to control the Luzon Strait and deter aggression. The Luzon Strait is a critical maritime passage, and maintaining security here is vital for both nations' interests. The Batanes exercises, meaning shoulder to shoulder, are about more than hardware. They represent a commitment to mutual defense and a shared vision for regional stability. These exercises build trust and seamless cooperation, allowing both militaries to learn from each other and operate as a unified force in times of crisis. The presence of American troops and advanced systems on Philippine soil sends a potent message to adversaries, signaling that any threat will be met with a coordinated and powerful response. The alliance is adapting to new threats, with external defense now a top priority. Joint planning and intelligence sharing are at the heart of this evolving partnership. These activities are a visible response to shared concerns over Taiwan and the South China Sea, where tensions have been rising and the need for a united front is more important than ever. The U.S. Philippine partnership is a living commitment, reinforced on the front lines through joint exercises, strategic deployments, and a clear message. Together, they stand ready to defend peace and stability in the region. China has responded with sharp criticism to the growing U.S.-Philippine military presence in Batanes. Beijing condemned the deployment of American missiles, calling it provocative and destabilizing. Chinese officials accuse the Philippines of inviting external forces and risking regional conflict. For China, these moves are part of a U.S.-led strategy to contain its ambitions, especially regarding Taiwan. Beijing warns Manila not to become a pawn in great power rivalry. The Philippines and the U.S. insist their actions are defensive, but China sees them as aggressive. This clash of narratives deepens mistrust and rivalry in the Indo-Pacific. Batanes has become a symbol of the larger geopolitical struggle. President Marcos Jr. has made it clear, when it comes to a potential conflict over Taiwan, the Philippines cannot simply stand by and remain neutral. The stakes are too high, and the risks too close to home. In recent statements, he has emphasized that the country's security and national interests are directly tied to what happens across the Taiwan Strait. Geography is destiny. Batanes, the northernmost province of the Philippines, is less than 150 kilometers from Taiwan. This proximity means that any military action or instability in Taiwan would have immediate and unavoidable consequences for the Philippines. Any conflict in the Taiwan Strait would almost certainly spill over, affecting the Philippines directly, whether through military, economic, or humanitarian impacts. The islands could become a front line, and the entire region would feel the shockwaves. Over 150,000 Filipinos live and work in Taiwan, forming one of the largest overseas communities there. Their safety and well-being would become an urgent national priority for Manila, requiring swift and decisive action. Organizing the evacuation and protection of these citizens would immediately pull the Philippine government into the heart of the crisis, forcing it to coordinate complex operations in a potentially hostile and chaotic environment. This reality is driving a major shift in Philippine defense policy, with a renewed focus on strengthening the Batanes Islands. Military facilities are being upgraded, and troops are being trained to respond to new threats. The Philippines isn't seeking conflict, but it must be ready for any scenario. Preparation and vigilance are now seen as essential, not optional. In this uncertain environment, leaning into its alliance with the United States is viewed as the best strategy for both deterrence and defense. The partnership is being revitalized, with new agreements and closer cooperation. Increased U.S. access to Philippine bases and expanded joint military exercises are designed to bolster both countries' capabilities, sending a clear message of unity and preparedness to any potential adversary. Today, Batanes stands as the most visible sign of this new, proactive approach to national security, a symbol of the Philippines' determination to protect its people and its sovereignty in a rapidly changing region. Batanes marks a historic transformation for the Philippine military. For decades, the focus was on internal threats. Now, the priority is external defense. Military leaders are making Batanes a strategic priority, shifting from counterinsurgency to maritime security and joint operations. New hardware, warships, jets, missile systems reflects this outward focus. The AFP is building a modern, integrated command structure, ready to coordinate with allies in real time. The biggest threats now come from across the sea, not within. This pivot is driven by government recognition of a changing Indo-Pacific. Batanes is the leading edge of this new resolve to defend Philippine sovereignty. Batanes is now a powerful symbol of Philippine sovereignty in a contested region. The presence of troops and new facilities sends a clear message: this is Philippine territory and it will be defended. Investments in defense and the U.S. alliance are both military and political statements. The Philippines is taking an active role in shaping its security environment. Fortifying Batanes is a declaration that Manila won't cede its northern frontier. This stance is especially significant amid ongoing pressure in the West Philippine Sea. Batanes stands as a beacon of resilience and a signal that the Philippines is ready to defend its place in the world. Fortifying Batanes has regional consequences that ripple across the Indo-Pacific. For the U.S. and allies, a stronger Philippine presence closes a key gap in the first island chain, deterring Chinese expansion. For China, a fortified Batanes complicates naval operations and Taiwan planning. Beijing is likely to increase pressure on Manila, raising the risk of tense encounters. Other regional players, Japan, Australia, Taiwan, see a more capable Philippines as a stabilizing force. Batanes' transformation encourages greater security cooperation among like-minded nations. The once sleepy islands are now a flashpoint where local defense meets global power dynamics. The fate of Batanes is now intertwined with the future of the entire region.